Hello everyone, today I will try to show you how Sub Rogue looks in early red PvP, mainly focusing on his damage on different enemies. Of course, I will comment each fight and give you my opinion on that, how good is Rogue against certain specs in this gear. I just want to mention that some of my enemies are not on some high skill level, but I try to find the best in this gear bracket. I hope you will have fun and learn something new. So let's start. For gear, I'm using 4 out of 5 pieces Savage main set, jammed with agility to slightly increase crit chance that I luck with this gear. I'm running around 5.1% hit rating and around 343 resilience. I'm switching between the weapon for played enemies with armor penetration proc and execution enchant, and the weapon with better overall stats with agility and berserking enchant to hit harder on clothed enemies. Now you can see the talent build that I am using at the moment. Of course, you can make your own if you feel you don't need some talents I picked here. For Glyphs, I think that Eviscerate Glyph that increases critical chance of that spell by 10% is a must. It's main damage combo point spell, and with this gear we surely need some critical boost. So let's start. Paladins seems unbeatable in this bracket for rogues. This guy won me like 10 times in a row without using his shield, so together we figure out what was the main problem. Although I lost that much duels, this guy told me that my damage was insane, which I partly know. So what could go wrong? The problem lays in Retribution Aura and talent called Eye for an Eye. I lost around 200 HP for every single hit from my daggers, and I lost 10% of my hit from every single critical hit that I made. So that's roughly around 3 to 4k damage just in opener, without him using any spell. So look at this video. Just look at the damage after the stun. He used one single spell and my evasion was on. But let's stop crying and try to win this. Maybe you shouldn't even use Slice and Dice, since you will deal more damage to you with more frequently based attacks landed. Open with Chip Shot, Shadow Dance, 2 ambushes in a row, and Dismantle, so he cannot use his Crusader Strike or Divine Storm, just Judgments. Then follow it with Kidney Shot to force Huff and Garrote to silence him and vanish away fast. This fast vanish is very important because he couldn't use his repentance, which he would do 100% and start healing and do another judgment on me. Also, I have to mention that I lost 7k HP and he used one single judgment on me, which cannot be prevented in opener. Now I waited him to start healing so I can kick him, but he fake casted 2 times and I failed, so I had to think fast and use preparation to vanish out again before he uses repentance. He is now at low HP and I should have landed ambush and eviscerate and ended, but concentration revealed me after shadow step, so I couldn't made an ambush, so I immediately dismantled him and caught him off global cooldown and low HP, so he had to trinket, and I used instant blind and first aid. Also, I covered myself with Cloak of Shadows, which saved me from stun and repentance. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can easily farm random paladins in battlegrounds, which I did with my rogue, but if Pala knows tactics with repentance and stun, fake cast, and he's using one hand weapon and shield on top of that, it's very hard, and it's impossible in my opinion, because you hardly lack armor penetration and he has like 20k armor. I was defending my tower and this guy came again 1 minute later. I don't find DKs that hard, your damage is more than enough to bring them down. All you have to do is to land the first kidney, which is not that hard. They cannot use Icebound before kidney if they don't shrink it first, and if they did, you can simply follow it with instant blind and reopen the fight. Open with classic premeditation, slice and dice, and look at the position of Pat. He's standing behind him so he can stun me from back and avoid my evasion. So try stand with the face open to his path. Open with chip shot, shadow dance, ambush, and in video I did 5 combo points kidney, but I should have used garrote first and then kidney for possible cheap trinket. Hit as much ambushes as you can, and by then you will probably force his Icebound. Then use last 5 combo points for Rapture and fast cloak vanish and wait it to end so you can reopen. If he uses Icebound really fast, use Disarm while you're stacking up combo points for Rapture. Now use Destruction and Sap spells to interrupt his eating, then reopen with Chip Shot and 5 combo points Kidney Shot. Follow with Blind and Gouge and Pet. Time your kidney nicely so you don't get diseased. That will allow you to restealth again without vanish, and he won't be able to summon Gargoyle once again. Also keep in mind that you mustn't use any bleed effect in second opener because of blind. I wanted to end this fast and I want to use ambush and eviscerate, but again I got revealed. So I used my dismantle and kidney shot. And keep in mind that you can use kidney shot through anti-magic shell. Rogue is just insane against all clothers, damage is just absurd, and you will see that a little bit later. This duel is just how standard fight should look like in this bracket. Premeditation and save those combo points, then use chip shot and instant eviscerate, then you got feared. Instant trinket on fear and keep pressing. If you eat horror, use cloak after it to remove diseases. I made a couple of mistakes here, but still enough to win. They shouldn't use horror first because I could simply cloak right after it and he wouldn't be able to force my trinket that way. I would just vanish away while cloak is still there. Other thing was unfortunate kidney shot, which was in same time as dispersion. I wanted to use 5 combo points stun and maybe force him trinket that way, but I would vanish anyway so I have a chance to reopen again without getting dotted. This guy is 2.3k rated Shadow Priest and we had a couple of duels and soon he went off so I couldn't film a perfect duel. Just look at his reflex and horror, it looked like a script. First mistake was this 1 combo point kidney, like what the hell was that? Then I did pretty good job and pretty good damage by separating cloak and shadow dance, so he doesn't just dispersion my cloak and shadow dance in same time. Then we had a second mistake. I was trying to use 4 combo point eviscerate by all means instead of vanishing right before cloak expires so he cannot dot me, so I can reopen once again. This way I was starving with energy, slowly dying, and he knew I had a shadow dance and he had to trinket first chip shot and then fear me.
Dispersion down, trinket, psychic scream. Step down. Psychic Scream. Psychic Horror. Berserk.
This was perfect as I wanted to do. I used Kidney before Vanish and he trinketed and cancelled the aura just to dot me, so I can run away, but he was late. This was some bug because I left combat 8 seconds ago and the priest was still in it. That screwed up everything I did till then. But thanks to insane damage, I somehow pulled it off.
Psychic Scream.
Now you will see what this burst means when I say it. I will point out what Mage needs to do if he wants to win. If he doesn't do it, he will lose every time against this tactic I'm using in this video. We aren't using stuns or bleeds in opener, just raw damage from Eviscerate and Ambush, and it's surely one of the most viable ways to open. Premeditation and fast ambush and 5 combo point Eviscerate that will break the ice barrier and it will freeze you. You need to have your finger on Vanish and sprint away in different direction. If you get revealed, Shadow Step and backstab the target, but make sure to use preparation just right after to get Shadow Step off cooldown because you will need it. When he uses Deep Freeze, right after that comes Polymorph. Now listen closely. You can Trinket, Shadow Step and kick the Polymorph. That way you will silence his Arcane School and he won't be able to blink, just to use his Frost School, which is Ice Block, and even if he summons Pet and frees you, you can vanish because we reset cooldowns and you can kill him if he doesn't use Ice Block. If he uses Ice Block like in this scenario, your job is done. Use Shadow Dance and Cloak of Shadows with Sprint and finish him off. This one is also fast one, but I want to show you other better scenario when you kick his Frost School and then he won't be able to use Ice Block and you just finish him off with Shadow Dance. That happens if you let him to do Polymorph and wait him to start casting Frostfire Bolt or Frost Bolt, and then you have your chance. Now, before we advance to duel against Season 7 Frost Mage, I just want to measure how equally geared Frost Mage can beat you. This is the moment from last duel that might be game changing. He needs to make full rage for his Frost spells, and that way, if I Trinket, he will have enough time to react and cancel the cast, and I won't kick him, and it's 100% loss for Rogue. Other way is just to stand and cast Fireball at any distance, and if I Trinket and kick him, I will lock his Fire School, which is absolutely worthless for Frost Mage. As you can see, this Mage is wearing Relentless gear by his
Enemy
HP.
sapped.
He's not good or something, but I want to show you what is Rogue in this gear capable of with some decent plays on under average to average players. Don't use Shadow Step if he didn't reveal you, that can cost you a duel.
Deep Freeze. Poly.
Now I'm waiting for him to start casting Frost Bolt or Frostfire Bolt because both of them lock the Frost School.
Poly.
This one may be a tricky if you didn't practice these moves earlier. When you kick him, keep in mind that he can and he will blink away, so you need to reset your cooldowns instantly to use another Shadow Step fast in combination with Shadow Dance. For first freeze I used Vanish, but I didn't have enough damage to bring him down because of give difference, so I wasted my cloak before its time, before his Ice Block. Against hunters, if you avoid flare and open with chip shot, you have great chance to win. If flare reveals you, you lose 100%. If you trinket pet stun, you also have great chance of losing. You have to open with shadow step and chip shot macro, followed by evasion and shadow dance. Don't use any bleed damage on opener because there are great chance for hunter to trinket the kidney shot, even with warr sacrifice on.
Trinketed.
You can see how it looks when you don't pop evasion on time and pet knocks you and you have to trinket because you need to use kidney shot. That's an easy job for hunter to set a freezing trap and make a space. When I play hunter, I pray for rogues like this. Anyway, it's not the end of the world, even if you get trapped and he makes a space. If he somehow doesn't crit with aimed on Chimera, but make a damage on you, you can simply cloak and vanish away, but don't instantly use a shadow step because you can hit his 3 deterrence. You can now just run and blind him from stealth without even trying to open because his trinket is down.
Aim shot. Enemy blinded. Blind down.
Other way to open is to try to bait him by sapping his pet and distracting him so he expects opener on him, and instead of that you will sap him. For Hunter to play this tactic, he needs a little bit better resilience with one healing trinket like Bubble or True Blood or Skeleton Shield, because this way it's impossible to survive. He immediately used flare in my direction right after the stun, but evasion effect looks transparent, like I'm still in stealth, so I didn't even notice that he revealed me.
Enemy sapped. Sat down. Roar of sacrifice. Silencing shot. Deterrence. Readiness. Deterrence down. Master's call. Silencing shot.
This was funny thing, one ambush and GG, but I wanted to make it classy and I used first aid and used trinket in the same time and I lost this. Now I'll just show you how fun it is to play one more caster in this bracket against a rogue. Won't even comment a lot of this, just use Shadow Dance with instant Cloak of Shadows and vanish before Cloak expires, that's it.
Trinketed. Intimidating shout. Berserker Rage. Enrage Regeneration. Disarm. Shield Wall. Shield Bash. Enemy blinded. Shield Wall down. Enemy sapped. Blind down. Sat Shut down.
So classic. Every time you make me nervous and I lose my words. It's been a while since I forgot the most.
Trinket. Disarm. Intimidating shout. Berserker stance. Defense reflection. Enemy blinded. Line down. Shield wall. Spell reflection. Battle stance. Defense stance. Battle stance. Down. Enemy sapped. Step down. Trinket bind. Elemental mastery. Earth bind. Earth bind. Enemy blinded. Enemy lying down. Back down.
Okay guys, I just want to make a fast conclusion about Rogue on this specific gear level. I'm honestly impressed with the damage Rogue has on this gear. It can beat all casters except maybe Elemental Shaman, which is one of the most overpowered specs in this bracket. And on the other side you lose against all anti-melee specs like Prot Paladin and even normal Red Paladin, Blood DK, Prot Warrior and Enhancement Shaman. But again, like always, Rogue gives you the joy and the fun. So I hope you really enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because it means a lot to me. Thanks and see you soon. Peace.